Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Free at last. Free at last. Thank Almighty. We are free at last.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
And welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat. It's Thoroughly Thankful Thursday. I just came up with that. Thankful Thursday or Thoughtful Thursday. Which one's better? Hey, let's keep them both. It's a Thankful, Thoughtful Thursday. We're here. I tell you, I am just so thankful today. I'm not always just thankful on Thursdays. I'm thankful every day of the week just to be alive. My bar for happiness is so low in my advanced age. The stupid things I've done in my life that could have prevented me from being here at all and endangering others. Well, that's a whole lot of shows. But you just get to the point where you're so dang thankful that it's hard to have a bad day. Even when you're going through stuff, I know, I get it. I have, quote unquote, bad days. Going through stuff now. Everybody has stuff. But through it all, to be, first of all, a believer, to believe the good Lord's in charge of all this thing chaos, which it's really not. It's God's perfect plan falling in place. Hard to believe sometimes. The Bible's full of folks who question God, and he says, that's all right. Question me. God says, I get it. I understand. But you got to trust me. Ultimately, I'm in charge here, not Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping or radical politicians out there from both sides of the aisle, that I'm in charge. So when you kind of take that into your soul, you kind of, things seem surmountable. The mountain seems scalable. The valleys are not quite so deep. So, and it starts with just appreciating little things. Like I said, my bar for happiness is so low. If I wake up in the morning, and my eyes can see where I'm going, my body can get me there, man, it is a great, great day. So anyway, welcome to the show. We got a packed show, and I think I hear a knocking at the door. Yes, come in. Does it sound a little bit like Mr. Rogers? Oh, it is Matt White coming in. As we spontaneously do this pre-rehearsed entry that we did. I forgot to give you the big wink to come in.
Oh yeah, I just didn't get it. So it's great to be on the Mr. Rogers show, but no, I'm playing.
Yeah, well, I tell you, we had planned on being, it was going to be me alone here. Matt's hanging around. We have a lot of fun before the show, by the way. This is a group of young millennials and Generation Zs and whatever. They keep, these youngins keep me young. Coming around and running everywhere. I don't try to keep up with them anymore. I'd be exhausted before the intro. So I just get back, get in the slow lane, sit back, and I tell you, smart young men here. I'm not leaving the women out, but there's no women here. I'm sure we're going to look to talk to Guillermo, but bringing a young lady in here.
I know that you got the people in the comments already. Playing.
We've got to always understand. But anyway, great young folks here that love America, love family, faith, family, freedom. They adhere to that. That's not my little slogan. Those are just sacred principles that so many people in this country still believe in. And folks, back in the day, our ancestors felt so strongly about faith, family, and freedom. They were willing to give their lives in order to create this great country called the United States of America. Okay, with that little windy intro, I have got, before we get to the heavy stuff, because Matt's got a load of them here, I'm sure. We haven't even discussed the topics.
I know. I'm just ready for it. I'm just thankful that I'm on the show. Thankful Thursday. You said it, and we're gonna bring the thunder.
Thankful.
Yeah, we're gonna bring the thunder.
So it's gonna bring. I like that.
Yeah.
Thankful, thoughtful thunder Thursday.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep.
That's a lot of man.
That's a lot of words
for a man my age to remember.
Yeah, Thursday thunder. I know I was talking to him but we also have to be thankful too.
I like it.
Another day of life.
I like it, and I'll try to remember that. I'm taking that Prevagen now. You heard that Prevagen? You don't need to take it now. Guys out there, let me tell you, older dudes, it works. I think there's a difference. And the reason I know Prevagen works, and they're not a sponsor of the show, I'm just passing this on. When you go to the store, you can't get it off the counter. They hide it in the back. It's locked up. So you know anything that's in the back locked up that you have to ask the clerk to go get it for you, you know it must work. People are stealing that crap.
It's like hydrochloroquine, right? During the pandemic, right?
How are you making that connection?
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I see where you're going with that. I get it. Hey, the Prevagency's kicking in.
Yeah, you know.
I get where you're coming from there.
Bro,
yeah.
hydrochloroquine, it was like a couple bucks on the shelf, and then COVID happened. Oh, this actually potentially works.
It actually works.
Oh, but now you can't get it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, according to Fauci, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Another reason to trust our government totally. But hey, I got to, first of all, I got to thank Laura Fisher. Laura sent me this beautiful hat. We got it today. And some T-shirts. It was too late to change the T-shirt because I had to prep for the show, but we're going to wear that T-shirt tomorrow because they're fabulous. It's Autry's Army on here. She created that logo right here. And I tell you, folks, this embroidering is not cheap stuff. Laura, you
A1.
shouldn't. Yeah. These young guys who really are into hats and embroidering, they gave it the A-OK the pass. They said, that is really good stuff. And you shouldn't have done that. I'm not worthy of that. And it's not being false self-effacing. I've never been able to accept gifts well. Are you guys like that? You're telling me where to show it. Am I showing it properly? Do they see it? Is that on there now? Okay. There's the hat. Beautiful embroidering there. And it says, faith, family, freedom, right across there. Our motto here for Autry's Army. It's some beautiful T-shirts. But again, Laura came up with that logo, the eagle there, wing spread, ready to go out.
It looks good. Yeah. It's so good.
Matt, isn't that?
Yeah.
And Laura, dadgummit.
I think we got a new logo for the show.
Yes, I tell you. And Laura, and again, here's what's beautiful. I'm so excited about this. Laura and I, we agree on a lot. There's certain stuff we don't agree on. And we had a disagreement on some aspects of the abortion issue. Lined on some, and then we departed on certain things. She's very passionate about it. Her life experience has given her that passion. And we were able to discuss it. It got very passionate. Then we went on to the other subject. I didn't say, Laura, don't call again. And she didn't say, Alan, I hate you. You know, you're a male chauvinist pig. I'm never going to watch your show or be a part of it again. No. You agreed to this because I think through it all, we didn't cross lines, Matt. There was no name calling. There was no, Alan, you pig hit or Laura, this, that. And don't you think that's where this country desperately needs to get back?
100%. I agree. And it's like, I know being on college campuses the last couple of years and just seeing how people get so angry. I had a friend, we were in class and he rose his hand and he had an opinion on abortion. And there was the person at the time that was in the class. She was student body president, held this high acclaim. And after class, she came at him after class very aggressively, almost violently coming at him because she's like, you can't have an opinion because you're a man, And it's just like, wow, the fact that it's just like the rage that comes from it. And all he had was a different opinion. He was a man.
Well, that's was the centerpiece of the Roe versus Wade. From what I understand, from what I remember, and I'm going to go in and delve and read it again and do a lot of background on it. But I believe it was the father who said, hey, wait a minute. I have some kind of say in it. I'm the daddy. I contributed to it some way. No, I'm not going to carry the baby. That's a unique thing that a woman's been created by God to do. And we should respect that immensely and know that we're men, not birthing people. And as much as this craziness on the left wants to make us believe, we will never, regardless if you transition, no matter what you do to your body, you're not going to understand what it is to carry a baby unless you're a mother.
Even Gavin Newsom agrees with that. I think he had a press conference, yesterday, and they said, well, if men could get pregnant, we'd be having a different conversation. So he even admitted to it during a press conference from what I collected from yesterday.
Do you know something about that, Gavin Newsom? No, he's actually a decent guy. We differ politically. But if he decided to transition, he'd be a good-looking woman.
Oh, man. Never thought about it. Why'd you put that image in my head?
No, he would be. I'm just being totally analytical about it. He would be a good-looking woman. Just picture him next time. They got those things where they can do with the imagery.
The little switch, the filters or whatever. Yeah.
I would think he would do that. Matt Gaetz, the hair, the face, the eyes. I mean, he's a decent-looking guy. Look at me. I'm not going to talk about somebody's looks. But you look at him and go, okay, how do we get on that?
Yeah, I have no idea.
This is Thankful, Thoughtful. What is it? Thunderous Thursday?
Yeah, Thunderous Thursday.
And I'm talking about
Thursday.
Gavin Newsom transitioning. But hey, you know, I always, at the top of this show, try to loosen up a little bit because we go into stuff that we got to cover. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about the border. It's out of control. It's threatening the future of this country. We got to talk about the war in Ukraine. It's threatening the future of mankind if nuclear weapons are being used. We've got the Roe versus Wade stuff and all of that. But anyway, you're probably not familiar with this. And you need, maybe you have. I don't want to jump to conclusions here. Have you been following this Phil Mickelson?
I have not. He's my favorite golfer of all time.
And you haven't been following this thing, the trouble he got into?
No, I didn't. Not
well, I'm getting ready to get in trouble with Phil.
Oh, man.
Well, apparently, the Saudi Arabians, the royal family over there, are heavily invested in golf, apparently. They sponsor
100%.
This huge golf tournament, several golf tournaments. And they were big sponsors of this new golf league out there. Well, Mickelson was either overheard or somebody squealed. I don't know if they have tape on it or not, but it was statements, or he may have tweeted it. I don't know, but he's not gone back to that. He said he's apologized, which I wish he wouldn't. But he simply said the Saudi Arabian government, those people are scary. Okay? That was his statement. They're scary. He went on to say they killed this guy, Khashoggi, the journalist, dismembered him at the direction of the Crown Prince Mohammed and the King. Well, the CIA did an investigation and confirmed that. They believe that is exactly who gave the orders to do the hit on Khashoggi. And you talk about Russian atrocities over in Ukraine, which they are perpetrating. You have this so-called ally, Saudi Arabia, of which, by the way, all of the hijackers on 9/11 got all their training in Saudi Arabia, and we're Saudi Arabians. Why would he apologize? Because that is a scary outfit over there. We've gotten into bed with them. They're allies against Iran because they are a predominantly Sunni country. Iran's predominantly Shia. What do you think about that? But Bill, dadgummit, he went John Cena on.
Yeah, no.
He went John Cena. He started apologizing and groveling.
Yeah, no.
Saying, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like almost the main intuition as being like a public figure now is if there's enough stuff. It's a rarity when you see people like, Donald Trump, he'll never apologize, like that type of stature. But then like, I think Joe Rogan, he had apologized, recently. And then, John Cena. And John Cena, it really is sad. Like, it's kind of like if you're a public figure now, you're almost like that's their default is to apologize. And it doesn't matter. Well,
the thing is with Trump, and here's how crazy it is. This is just how freaking crazy it is. And I grew up as a young man different. But here's how crazy. I'm going to say something about Trump. And you're not going to hear, most people are not going to hear folks that have drank the Trump Kool-Aid, which is Trump can do no wrong. He's never said anything he should have apologized for. Okay, that's the Trump Kool-Aid. You can be a Trump supporter and support his policies and not drink the freaking Kool-Aid where everything he does, includes, but if he farts, it's not going to smell because it's a Trump fart. There's people out there that they just totally Trump can do no freaking wrong.
Shoot, CPAC this last
Don't apologize. He imitates a disabled person. He doesn't need to apologize for that. His whole thing, I never apologize. Yes, you do need to apologize when you're wrong. When you're wrong. John Cena, the difference is, John Cena was not wrong to call Taiwan a country. He got scared to death. He wasn't going to get his next $20 million contract, and he went up and groveled and apologized. Phil Mickelson didn't say anything wrong to apologize for. Yet he sees at his age, you're a big fan, right? He's got to have enough money.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that was looking at...
What is your integrity and pride worth?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And for me, when I looked him up...
Sell it.
Yeah, I know it said $40 million in gambling losses, too. I was like, wow, I didn't even realize...
Probably lost a lot of those casinos over in Dubai.
That's what in Dubai,
Oh, he's talking about...
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, wow.
Oh, yeah, but that's of his own accord there. But anyway, these folks that... and what I was going to say, Trump needs to apologize. Now, Autry's an anti-Trumper.
Oh, yeah, you're an anti-Trumper.
He's an El Camino. Well, first of all, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm an independent, so don't call me an El Camino. We'll get into what an El Camino Republican is.
We're going to get some merch done.
Romney.
Yeah.
I just simply said that apologize. Wouldn't you tell your kid, parents out there, and I want to talk to the real Trump Kool-Aid people, that he can do no wrong. Anything he does is fine, perfect, great, MAGA baby, boom, boom. Okay? Would you tell your kid, listen, don't ever apologize? That kid, if you make fun of that kid out there, say your kid's in third grade, and you saw that they were limping along and they had a bad leg, or they have a physical disability, and you made a joke about it, and the teacher calls you in and asks you to apologize. Don't you ever apologize. What? How many parents you think actually teach their kids?
I wouldn't think so many. I think
many. Who would?
Yeah, no, nobody.
Who would? I don't think Republican, Democrat, Independent.
Yeah.
That is just a basic. So this whole thing of never apologize is in politics. I think people out there are waiting for somebody to say, you know what? A sincere apology, when apology is due. Not a John Cena apology, not a Phil Mickelson apology, because they shouldn't apologize. But be able to say, you know what? In a heat of the moment, I said that, and I really don't mean it. And my goodness, we're not going to be able to reach across the aisle unless that happens. And we'll go to break on this, but did you know who Ronald Reagan? All these Republicans want to be Ronald Reagan. They want to be Ronald Reagan. Reagan, the Reagan Club. I want to be Ronald Reagan. They don't want to be Ronald Reagan. Because you know what? You know who Ronald Reagan spent the most time with, Matt, in his 8 years?
I don't know.
Tip O'Neill.
Oh, okay.
He was out at the Senate. Senator Tip O'Neill. One of the far less left liberals that there ever was there in Congress. Why? Because he had to make deals with Tip.
It'd have been like Trump hanging out with Chuck Schumer.
Right. And he knew if he called Tip O'Neill an insane, a bunch of names, that Tip was probably not going to be in the mood to have a little glass of wine.
Add to the ball.
You know, we talk about the Chappelle thing, but I want to get into the MAGA.
Oh, yeah, the MAGA.
Yeah, we'll in fact
the MAGA audio. Yeah,
we'll hit the David Chappelle thing real quick, and then I'm going to turn it to you and just this statement by Biden. We'll probably cue that up and then let Matt expound upon it.
Yeah, I haven't seen
MAGA crowd.
I know. Have you? You've probably heard about.
I love my MAGA people.
The Dinesh D'Souza.
There's a lot of them. What's that?
Oh, that Dinesh D'Souza.
I like Dinesh D'Souza too.
Yeah, he's got that 2,000 Mules. I'm super excited to see that on Saturday. It's getting released.
2,000 Mules.
Yeah, you haven't heard about it for the 2020 election.
Have not.
Yeah,
but
so
I like his work. He does his research.
Yeah, so I'm looking very interested to see how that goes. So.
I'm interested to see what the title is referring to. You know what?
2,000 Mules. So they're talking about the people that were stuffing ballots during the 2020 election. They have video proof and geo-tracking of phones and stuff to see how the election was indeed stolen in 2020. But the 2,000 Mules referred to somebody that
you just got us off of Facebook and YouTube right now.
I know. Yeah, they're going to censor us. Our streams going to go down right now.
No. Go ahead, YouTube, if you have to do this. We simply are reporting about a movie coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the fact that we have to be careful.
I don't know.
Jeremy's going to hop on.
On the Chappelle thing, did you want the video for that? I still have it.
Yeah.
I still have it up, yeah.
Yeah, if you got that, let's show it. It's a scary thing for Chappelle. Might want to increase in security. This guy got a running start at it. No security.
Well, yeah, no, it's a crazy incident.
Security took care of him once I got it.
Oh, yeah. An ambulance and all that. And then I like how Chris Rock was all, was that Will Smith up there? Was that Will Smith?
That was an easy one for Chris. You knew that was.
Yeah. It was
oh my gosh, folks! I'm looking up here. The Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. I actually do. I feel sorry for them. Taking their private life. Back in the day, we were raised, folks my age and even younger. There's a phrase: "Don't air your dirty laundry." And now, with all these reality shows, people make a lot of money airing their dirty laundry and everything else. Kardashians have become filthy rich. Chris Lee, the fella, the Southern family out of Georgia, making just gazillions of dollars on it. But dadgum, I still find that very, I know it's hard to watch. Hard to even, it just shouldn't be there.
I like how this is televised, right? But like the Gasoline Maxwell and everything, in terms of all the Epstein stuff, none of that's aired, you know. But this is
30 seconds,
and there's no murder involved here. There's no, it's egregious crime,
and a lot of it's probably for ratings too, you know.
But they'll never
high
be
profile.
Yeah, do they have kids?
I don't even know. I know Jeremy might know. I don't think so.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
And welcome back to Alan Autry No Retreat with Matt White. Okay, David Chappelle, if you haven't seen, probably have. The video is viral, as they say, and all the networks are covering. But it was doing a concert, I believe, in Los Angeles, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hollywood Bowl.
And this deranged guy got up, went after him with a knife. I guess it was a gun-shaped instrument, but it was actually a knife. Tackled Chappelle before the security got there. And I tell you, this is this is becoming a very concerning trend in terms of free speech. And Matt, my question is, where are all of because there's obviously a black man being attacked, and where are our woke far left folks? It seemed like the most outraged are people on the right. You're going after Chappelle for whatever reasons, man. He's a human being. May not agree with him politically or whatever in some of his comedy, but the woke far left, Black Lives Matter, all of the Whoopi Goldberg on The View, they just stay strangely silent. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. I know, I believe it was Honey Hostin actually blamed Donald Trump for the attack on The View, I believe this morning or yesterday. They went out on The View.
He didn't.
They blamed it on Trump, I believe. Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't put Putin in there, too.
I know, right? They didn't put Putin, but yeah, they were saying that, Trump started this incivility, and, we have like Larry Palaszczuk plug his shit, power to the people where civility is always in style. Mm-hmm. But this is like, they were just saying that's just a continuation of the Trump administration.
Well, we know that's silly and should just swat that away. That's a silly, politically charged. That's words for somebody who could care less about David Chappelle, to care less about the plight of black folk in America. A statement like that, I'll go on and say that. It's obvious that is such a stretch. There's no connection with that whatsoever. You could interrogate that guy till the cows come home. I guarantee he's never going to say Trump made me do it. Now, Chappelle has made some controversial statements about some demographic groups that those folks take it very serious, and there's going to be a violent element in that. But I'm just really, I think it's very telling that here the assailant was a black individual as well, an aspiring black rapper. And it's just in keeping. When it's black on black crime, it means nothing to the so-called leaders of black America, the self-appointed, self-ground leaders like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. And there's Jesse Jackson used to be, somewhat reasonable. But the Black Lives Matter, all of these talking heads, especially on MSNBC, they don't. I'm starting to step by step, getting really close to adopting what Leo Terrell said. If you listen to Leo Terrell, African-American civil rights lawyer, the only thing about I wish you wouldn't wear that red hat, Leo 2.0. It looks so silly. But very bright man. Got to be known to America, I think, during the OJ trial, became a Republican because he said the Democratic Party left me. They won't face the truth. And he flat says, look, the black leaders and the talking heads on CNN, MSNBC, and most of the black leaders in Congress don't care about black people. The only black death that they care about is when a white cop is involved. He flat out said that. When you look at the response this and other instances where it's been black on black crime, like Chicago every night, leading the nation in murders, 95% of it black on black crime, you tend to think, how do you argue with Leo on that? How do you make a good argument, man?
Well, and that's the thing is, and we've known that for some time, the Democrats don't truly have the interests of black America at like heart, in terms of what they've pushed in terms of policy. We talk about the abortions. I think you mentioned yesterday, 9 million black babies have been aborted since 1973. And it just shows that the policies aren't really there. They're taking that vote for granted. And I think we've seen a shift a little bit more, especially in the Hispanic community, even in the black community, toward like adopting what Trump like. And we saw people like, I know he went a little off the rocker, Kanye West, but being like, hey, like, guys, like, wake up. And, people like Candace Owens, it's like, no, these policies have kept the black community back, and it's almost like you said, it's very much a genocide in the black community through abortion. And yeah, it's
well, the Planned Parenthood, which has offices all over the minority areas, all over the country. I would imagine how that 9 million that were aborted, babies that were aborted, the vast majority came from a Planned Parenthood counseling and guidance. I'm sure it was founded by Margaret Sanger, an avowed racist.
Mm-hmm.
She felt that the black people should be eradicated from the face of the earth because they're inferior, and most black people don't know that. A lot of folks don't know that. And she created that organization, that institution dedicated to eradicate. You imagine if there were, and Guillermo Moreno, and I tend to agree with him, thinks these numbers are low. 9 million black babies since 1973 and 62 million overall abortions since 1973. Imagine 9 million more American babies who would grow up since 1970, have more babies. The voting bloc they would be, the influence that the African American community would have. I tell you, I think, I sense it, and the numbers back it up, that the black folk in our country, our black brothers and sisters, are really waking up to this. They're realizing they've been had for a long time. They've been led to slaughter in terms of abortion. They have been trapped in their zip code in schools that are failing. There's been a lack of any effort at all to improve those schools. It's all protecting teachers' unions. And I happen to love teachers. I'm not anti-union. I'm a member of 3 of them. It just is what it is. And I think people in the African-American community, and again, the statistics are bearing out, they're saying enough's enough. So it's a shame that something like this has to happen and continue to happen to shed light on it and have people ask questions and dig deeper into this issue. All right, let's move on to Joe Biden. It just seems like every time, bless his heart, he opens his mouth, that something comes out that continues to decrease the chances of the Democrats having any kind of success in the midterms. Did you see where this guy, Ryan, the senator out in Ohio, did you see that he was asked on CNN if he's going to ask Biden if he wants Biden to come down and campaign for him? He says, well, we'll see.
So bad.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Because he's got his handful. J.D. Vance won the Republican primary. J.D. Vance is a full load as an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Articulate, come from Appalachia, poor kid. The movie about him, Hillbilly Elegy, big bestseller in New York Times. Very well spoken.
Yeah, 22-0 Trump endorsements in the primaries.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah, so he's 55 all time, but 22 in Indiana and Ohio the other night. Everybody that Trump endorsed.
And I hope he stays in that role and doesn't run for president.
I know this is where we disagree. This is where we disagree. So
it's okay. We'll
get that because we did a whole show.
Let's go with Biden here because Biden said something that, and you wonder. Now here's the guy. Here's the president. He said, "I want to bring the country together. There's no red states and blue states. There's the United States. We all have to work together and be civil." And here's his latest. We could go through a litany of statements that are so divisive. That just has divided people more than any president, I think, in my lifetime. More than Nixon, absolutely, more than Carter, more than Trump. And Obama was pretty divisive out there. But Biden has set a whole new standard. Here's his latest. Let's play this clip here.
Oh, that got struck down. Griswold was thought to be a bad decision.
He's talking about
working.
the
Supreme
Supreme Court
is the guys
opinion.
on the Supreme Court now. What happens if you have a state changes the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit under the way that the decision is written? What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
Okay. Did you hear that? Here's Mr. Uniter, never the divider, saying this MAGA crowd, paraphrasing a little bit, is the most dangerous threat to democracy, basically. He said it over and over again. What do you think about that, Matt? Let's get your young opinion.
Well, it just kind of reminds me of, like, remember when Hillary Clinton said that all
the deplorables,
and stinky Walmart shoppers is kind of what they've turned the American people. And I think it's a slap in the face because, we talk about the greatest turnout in election history in 2020. We know a lot of things. We're on Facebook. We want to get pulled down, but
and does he have anybody that would say to him, Mr. President, here's the data. Okay. People are evenly divided on this, but it's slightly in favor of pro-life now. The country's changing. And also, you need to look at this data about women, how they think about the Roe versus Wade being overturned. It's from a very reputable source. It's not a right wing. This is a very reputable think tank that did the survey. So it's pretty pristine and pretty accurate, Mr. President. And it says that 49% of the women support overturning Roe versus Wade and taking that responsibility back to the states. You need to know this. And did they tell him that not all 49% of these women put on the red MAGA hat and go to the mall and shop with the red MAGA hat? Because you know what? They didn't vote for Trump. They don't really like Trump. But the idea of people voting in their individual state on something as important as abortion appeals to them. They do their homework. They value freedom. They value democracy, the right to vote on this issue. Do you think anybody's telling them that? Because you just told everybody that supports, they may believe in abortion, but they believe the states should have the individual right. Is confined only to Trump supporting MAGA hat wearing people, women?
No, not at all. And the fact that it's a blanket statement and it's for all conservatives, and it's like, oh, well, the bad conservatives are going to come in and take away your rights. And it's kind of this whole thing. I think it's all the narrative that they're trying to set. They're trying to set the narrative.
And Matt, Guillermo disagrees with me. A lot of folks out there disagree with me that are listening and watching, but I'm going to stand by it. And I'll eat my crow if I have to come November. I do not think that Joe Biden's going to make it to the midterms. This Ryan guy said it. Biden's going to want to go out there. They can't stop him. I'm going to go help him. Come on, man. I got to go down to Wisconsin and help those people. They need me. He actually thinks he's doing a good job as president. He's got these yes people around him. He thinks he's the second coming of FDR. They're obviously not showing him his poll numbers.
Well, did you see his correspondence dinner?
What's that?
The correspondence dinner on, what was it, Monday night, I believe?
Oh,
and they were and Trevor Noah comes out and they're like, man, everything's been in this administration's gone through a lot, but things are up, gas prices are up, food is up, and all this stuff. And then they look over at Biden and they pan the camera and he's laughing.
Yeah.
At the correspondence dinner. It's like, wow, he's laughing at the American people that are suffering. And it's like, he doesn't even know he did the wrong reaction. Yeah. It's like, he could have been looking down something, but he's laughing.
But you put yourself in this guy, Ryan's seat. He's going to go up against J.D. Vance. Ryan is a power. He wants to be president. He's saying, this is the biggest threat that I have. I am not going to have Joe Biden come down here and stump for me and ensure my shellacking from J.D. Vance. So how do they stop this guy? I hate to say this, but politically, he's the walking dead. He's a freaking zombie that's going to come down there and bite all the candidates, and they turn into zombies. You ever watch Walking Dead? That's what happened. We can call them
You do not want to.
The Woking Dead.
The Woking Dead. Yeah, you do not want to get near Joe Biden. You don't even want to get near even AOC. Like these endorsements.
But he said he's going out on the road.
That's helpful for us.
He ain't going to make it to some mysterious medical report. They're going to say, Joe, Nancy Pelosi's going to say, Joe, the doctor would like to see you. They'd like to do a little cognitive test here. Yeah, just a little checkup. It's routine. Something weird's going to come out of there. Because number one, they think, okay, we got the Roe versus Wade. Hey, let's get the sympathy vote. This is how these people are thinking. I guarantee you. I was in office for 8 years. I know how desperate they get and the ideas they consider. They're absolute freaking insane. They'll go, oh, remember when Reagan got shot? The old man was shot in the hospital and he got sympathy. And remember, they couldn't get anything through Congress then. Yes. Well, are you suggesting we shoot Joe Biden? One of his brilliant students. No. Just have him have some kind of manufactured stroke or some kind of malady where he's in a hospital room on the 8th floor and he goes to the window and waves to the people. Do that.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. Now, will that happen? But I guarantee you crazy scenarios like that, power on the woke left is something they will do and say anything to get and to keep.
So you think Kamala Harris is going to be?
I think their number one thing is Kamala. People don't take really serious on either side. Joe is the president. Joe Biden is the president. He's getting us deeper and deeper in Ukraine, and that's starting to boomerang back now as the world support starts to increase for Putin, as we find that hard to understand. He is the tyrant. He said this invasion is off the charts evil, but the rest of the world doesn't see it exactly like the United States. But what do you think about it? You think I know you? Look, I can tell the look on your handsome face that you think that I'm way offline thinking he won't make it to the midterm.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like there hasn't. I know for some people have been pushing for a cognitive test for a while. Like we know he's not. It's like Weekend at Bernie's. We don't really have a president currently, and it's funny because they've been doing a lot of man on the street type interviews recently. And I was watching these guys get interviewed yesterday, and they were like, President Biden, I forgot he was even president. I forgot we even had a president right now in the first place. Maybe get the audio later.
That's scary.
But these guys were like, I don't even know. They're like, Kamala Harris hasn't done anything, and they're like, a lot of people don't even know what's even currently going on, and people will react based on their wallets. They're looking at gas prices. They're looking at all these crazy things go around. Where the Ukrainian-Russian conflict that got blown up and now is out the window because Roe v. Wade's the next big political issue. And I think it was ironic out of all this. I'm going to throw us a fun fact: is the Democrats are getting a little like hectic right now because they've realized that a lot of the fundraising they hoped to get immediately after the Roe v. Wade thing got leaked, they're not seeing the money come in. They're not getting it, and so they're freaking out. Like, what are we going to do to get there? And that could potentially be something that happens, but I don't know. I'm not going to take a position on that.
Well, back in the day, I think you made a very good observation. I think that the data you said is backing it up. I remember clearly, I was in college when that was going on. Gazillions of women marched on Washington. Signs everywhere constantly for this, in support of it. The League of Women, all these organizations, Gloria Steinem was in her heyday. Jane Fonda was out there doing the thing. They had a lot of well-known people, women and men, but particularly women, just fanatically supporting Roe versus Wade, the Supreme Court decision. And some people think that had a lot to do with the justice's decision. It's worthy of discussion and debate. But now, years later, we know more. There's been more technology to see the baby as it develops. And I think that's had a tremendous effect on people who before you didn't know it's a baby, but you just couldn't think of actually a baby there, 2 eyes, arm moving around, smiling, what have you. And you're not seeing this rabbit in the streets. You see it in front of the Supreme Court. There was like a handful of women. Okay, we're going to take a quick break from that. And when we come back, Laura Fisher's on the line, and she wants to talk about the gender studies and athletes. I'm ready. It's not Free for All Friday, but it is Thoughtful, Thankful, Thunderous Thursday. And I'm sure thankful for Autry's Army and folks like Laura Fisher. They make doing this thing for 1 hour a day so much fun. So do you, Matt. So do all of y'all out there. Love you. We'll be right back. You see that move with James Brown that I did just now?
Oh yeah, I saw.
Did you really? You were kind of looking down the computer. Did you actually see it?
Which one? The one immediately.
When I went like
saw
that.
When I hit it.
Well, you saw I had 2 moves when I was dancing when I was your age. The clubs were the big place to go. In my move, I had 2 moves, but they were good moves. I would dip and I'd spin. Boom, spin.
Okay.
People said, you only have 2 moves? I said, you know what Bruce Lee said one time? He says, I don't fear the man who knows 1,000 techniques. I fear the man who has done one technique 1,000 times.
Wow.
That you ponder on.
That's some wisdom right there. That's some, yeah.
So I had that move down. 2 moves. I had it.
So you weren't out there doing the sprinkler, right? You know, no,
the swim,
right? The swim.
I tell you one thing that happened to me though.
The Windex
is the faces. You dudes out there and guys, you know what I'm talking. When you make, everybody makes the face when they dance. And yeah, there he is. You made the face. That's your dance face.
Yeah, you're soft.
And I was in a club one time and I had my dance face, but I've never seen the dance face because I didn't get in front of the mirror and dance. I'm not one of those guys. And I did my spin move, and I turned around, and there was a whole mirror wall in this club. And I opened my eyes and saw my dance face. We used to call it bitter beer face. It was so contorted and ugly, and I used to wonder why the girls would look up at me and kind of either look away or chuckle and laugh. I thought that they were having a good time. I was cool. That was the ugliest looking face that I could possibly make. I was so embarrassed. I cut it short, didn't do anything. From then on, it was like when I would dance, they go, have some fun. You know, I'd go blank face. Still do the moves, but not do the dance face.
Yep, I know Jeremy. He's got
it's important stuff you need to know.
You know.
You go to clubs?
No, I don't.
You have a girlfriend?
No.
You know? Where do you, are you dating? Single?
You know,
are you dating?
I am single. Yeah.
Are you dating?
Not currently.
You're not seeking?
Yeah, we're always seeking, you know, but
I can tell I'm going into areas that
we're going, you know,
comfortable there.
Yeah, you know.
But that's hey, I'm an old guy. I'm also a friend. I'm a counselor. I'm a coach. I can help you with that.
Yeah, you know.
What do you think about online dating?
I don't see it like it's very mainstream, but
it scares the heck out of me.
Yeah,
except I mean, I don't do it. I'm happily married. But every once in a while, you'll see these relationships. They meet people online, and they're
30 seconds.
Fantastic. But then you see all this. What do you call it? Sword fishing.
It's like
sword fishing.
Hookup culture is what it's called now, where people are just dating.
Well, how about when people pretend to be something they're not?
Catfish.
Oh, catfish.
Yeah. Oh, that's a whole nother thing too.
Swordfish.
Yeah, no, but not the biggest.
I got swordfish last night.
You just got to trust the plan. We got to trust the plan.
Well, what do you plan? You think that
God's plan,
the woman of your dreams is just going to walk up to you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
And welcome back to Alan Autry No Retreat. So Alan Autry with Mr. Matt White, the up-and-coming political genius that he is, an all-around great guy. And your parents have to be awful proud of you, Matt. Radio audience didn't get to hear what happened just prior to coming back on with social media. Matt and I were talking about dating. I don't date. I'm happily married for 26 years. Matt's out there eligible, and we got into that area about online dating, whether that's good or bad. It scares me. Laura, we're coming to you right now. But
we'll ask her too what her thoughts are on online.
But a guy your age, and I can see you're not going to go hang out at the clubs and get drunk like I did. Think you're going to find a woman of your dreams out there in the club.
Exactly.
That's not good.
Exactly.
That happens though. We don't want to make a blanket statement.
You got to find them in church. You got to find them maybe in the youth group.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're out there.
I'm looking for the virtuous woman. You know.
Okay. Do you put across a vibe of like, hey, I'm available, or do you just?
I don't know
what that vibe it would be.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I've heard that you got to make them know that and I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah, well, you were showing me the dance moves. I guess that's one way of doing it, right? Doing a little spin, you know?
I don't know if you want to walk to a youth group doing that, but
I
probably
know
yes.
exactly.
You know, fill with the Holy Spirit. I can get it.
Yep. You know, you got to have a certain face, you know? I don't know exactly.
you keep me posted on this because whoever ends up with you is going to be a very, very fortunate young lady. You're eligible guy there.
Oh, I already got Facebook comments coming in.
Oh,
my
I bet
goodness.
you. All right, let's go to Laura Fisher. We suddenly went into Free for All Friday.
Oh, I know.
On
we'll
Thoughtful
have to get
Thunderous
Jeremy's thoughts
Thankful
on this
Thursday.
later, too.
Laura Fisher, are you there, Laura? Laura? Did she hang up? We lose Laura? Laura. She sent me these hats, folks. Gosh, the hat and the T-shirts. My goodness. We have a mic off here. Jeremy's coming in. Let's see if we can get Laura.
Hello.
Oh, there we
go.
Of course, I got you now, man.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now, as the old phone commercial said. Are you in a dead zone right now?
I live in a dead zone.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, this hat is unbelievable, and the T-shirts
I'll tell Rusty you love it.
Well, the youngins here. I don't know if you saw earlier. We were discussing it. Matt White here, we got Jeremy, Jose here, all the youngins, and they just think it's cool. What's a word you would use to describe that in modern young people language?
It'd be like, that hat is dope.
Is it dope and sick?
I don't know.
Remember when sick means you were laid up with something, but sick now is good.
Yeah,
That's a sick hat.
That's a sick hat. Yeah, you
Okay.
can say that.
Well, thank you so much. You shouldn't have, but gosh, I'm honored. And I'm going to wear it tomorrow for Free for All Friday. I'm going to wear my T-shirt there and just, gosh darn it, thank you so much. And make sure you.
Well, I sent you extra T-shirts so you could give them away.
Okay. Well, see, I told them they couldn't have them. They were all mine, but I'll let Matt have one here. I'll let Matt and Jeremy. We'll be all decked out tomorrow.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
That'll be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna order some more. I want to put this fella in business here. He needs to make some dough off of that. It's free market, baby. I want to help him out.
Oh yeah, fire. Yeah, that's a good one, Jeremy.
We'll get a good pipe. We'll get a supply line chain going here that can never be interrupted.
Yeah, no, Jeremy. Yeah, totally. I don't know why I wasn't thinking, but fire. The hat's fire.
Fire.
That's what Jeremy.
I love it. This hat is fire, and so are the T-shirts. Hey, we're running out of time. I see you want to talk about the gender studies and athletes.
Well,
what's
I just wanted to. Yeah, a friend of mine sent me this. This is some preliminary data that just dropped this morning. As a matter of fact, it hasn't been broadly published, but it's come out to medical professionals and mental health professionals. They can access this, and he sent me a link to it with his password. They've been doing studies on transgender women to determine what effects the medical transition that they undergo has on their body over time.
Mm-hmm.
Does it actually begin to mimic the body of a female?
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, science is not on their side.
Surprise.
Because what they found is, I mean, as you know, being male or being female is not just as easy as having an XX or an XY chromosome.
Mm.
You also have the testosterone, but then you also have what they call caller carrier cells. And the call carrier cells are the cells that take the hormones throughout your body that make you a man or a woman biologically.
What's that called? Let me write that down. What's it called again, the cells? You need to write that down.
These are cells that actually develop between 12 and 13 weeks of gestation. And you have two chromosomes, an XX or an XY. There is one gene in the Y chromosome that makes you a biological male. That's known as the SRY gene.
SRY gene makes you a male. Okay.
That is the one gene that makes you a male.
Okay.
And that is what assigns the zygote as it becomes an embryo and then a fetus. That's what assigns it, gives it its sexual assignment. Okay? Well, then there are cells that the body begins to create. And their sole job is to distribute testosterone or estrogen, depending on what your sexual assignment is, in gestation, to different parts of the body, including the brain. Okay? And those carrier cells turn on parts of your brain that would make you as a man physically and sexually attracted to women for reproductive purposes. Those also are what make men grow body hair and their muscle mass and genitalia. This is how men get Adam's apples and all of that. Okay, same thing with women.
Okay.
Well, these cells are only designated by an SRI gene or a lack of SRY gene, meaning that all of your call carrier cells will only respond to calls from testosterone. My call genes or my call cells will only respond to calls from estrogen.
Do they go to call waiting?
So when a person
for later?
When a person
I mean, is it stored? They're actually sent out there, but your body just doesn't respond to it if it's a female gene or cell that comes out of it? Or is it just not secreted out? It's just, you said it won't answer.
Happens.
Okay, go ahead.
When a
we only got 2 minutes.
When a man transitions into a woman, they're given a cocktail. They're given a testosterone blocker, and then they're given estrogen.
Okay.
Now, estrogen will do superficial things to a male body. It will make body hair stop growing. It'll create breast buds. It'll reduce genitalia, and it will reduce the Adam's apple, and can have an effect on the vocal cords. That's
okay,
it.
let me ask you this, because we only got 1:30, but I hope you call back tomorrow. I'd like to continue this conversation. But is this what happens is when they refer to as reassignment, when they start giving you all this stuff, is they reassign those genes like you're saying? Is that what they're referring to?
That's the beginning of the transition. The actual sexual reassignment is the surgical procedure.
Okay. Boy, this is interesting.
Well,
this is very interesting.
But basically what they're saying is that because this person is a biological male, they are assigned male through their genetics.
Okay.
Even though they block the testosterone and they provide them with estrogen, they're never going to have a female body because their call or carrier cells are never, ever going to answer.
There's only so far you can go. I got you. Yeah. I hear you. Okay. That is so very interesting. And I mean that in a serious way. You know,
there's more to it. There's a lot more to it.
Well, listen, we got to head out. We're heading at the end of the show, but if you can call back tomorrow, if you got some more to say on this, I'd love to have you call in. But thank you for calling in now. We got about 30 seconds, Laura. And thank you again for the hat and shirts. God bless you. And God willing, we'll talk tomorrow. Boy,
you got popcorn coming on Monday.
All right. Boy, that was interesting, wasn't it, man?
Yeah, no, 100%. It's the battle of reality, men and women knowing the difference.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at now.
Well, the reality is, too, we're out of time here. Alan Autry, No Retreat with Matt White. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you all. God bless America. And remember this, when it gets tough, all you can do is your best and let God do the rest. You do that, you're going to be fine. Amen. Bye-bye now.